Well, BATJAC J.W here, and yeah, we're going live again. I know, haven't really done this for a while. It's been some months, so uh, I don't even think anybody's in here yet. That's okay, but because tomorrow is Saturday, and everybody's going to be doing their, or we're going to be doing our Saturday morning bit. So those of you that maybe are watching this Saturday morning. Maybe that's what you're doing. So, anyhow, all right. Before we even show any of that stuff, because I guess we'll talk about some stuff. Christmas this time around, definitely coming on board. So, uh, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. This year, I guess I decided to buy a bunch of stuff for myself. Makes sense. Uh, so I got actually a whole table full of stuff right here that actually I dare not show you this table because it is just full of junk. Full of junk all over the place. Uh, so been yeah, this year's Christmas has been for me. I splurged on myself for for once. That's what I've done. I've been taking apart the the reloader there and trying to load up something else. I'm actually currently using the Lee turret press, if you believe that. So I know I got to get the Dillon 650 up and running. I haven't gotten that going yet, but I'm not sure how long this live thing will be because the actual battery on this thing is about half capacity. So this was a spare of the moment bit that we're doing here. I really wasn't planning on doing it, but I figured there was some stuff that I wanted to show you and talk to you about. So anyway, I I guess there's some people out there watching. So um, I recently, I haven't posted the video yet, but I had purchased a a knife, and this was really the test for it. And I purchased this thing, and this is a just a cheapy knockoff one that you would get from say China, and it had the just the standard type of ivory type simulated scales. I guess they call them, or grips. I just call them grips. Nothing, not all into the proper terminology and all that. But so I decided to stain it because I like the aged yellow staining that, of course, is seen on that guy's pistols and stuff, the Duke. So I went ahead and tested it out on this, and what I did this with was leather dye. I did it with leather dye. You can see it. It turned out not bad at all. Actually has more of a realistic look now, and as it wears and ages and everything. So that was really my test. I thought, okay, well, let's see how it works because you can buy some leather dye. I bought mine from the feed store. It was about $2 for a little jar of it. So, yeah, I figured I'd test that out. And I liked the way it turned out. So what I wanted to do was, because I struggled with this way back when I bought that Cimarron rooster shooter. I bought it in the intention of saying, oh, well, I want John Wayne's gun. That's what I want. I want the Duke's fire, because he has that cool aged yellow grips on it. So that's what I want. So I bought that rooster shooter, and of course I dropped it on the ground, and yeah, broke the grips. And so the story goes, well, I sat there looking at it and didn't know really what to do. Took the grips off, what was left of them. Actually, I was very fortunate because it wasn't a very bad break. It was just on the corner. I super glued them back together, but I turned them over and looked at the backs of the grips, and they were made by a company called Bar S, and Bar S doesn't exist anymore. They're like gone. So it was like, all right, so what do I do now? So in the morning came, I called Cimarron and told them what happened and what to do, and they gave me this story at the time that they said that they didn't have anybody that was making the grips anymore, and I guess the guy Bar S is no longer around or something, and which I found out. So they basically said, you're out of luck. I guess it wound up being a happy accident, per se, because I wound up making my own grips, as some of you know. Um, if you follow the channel, you know that I was basically concocting, my own mixture of stuff to create my own grips. And what I wound up doing was, because at the time, living on an island, everybody goes surfing and whatnot, and so there was a lot of resin and stuff like that available for making surfboards. That's what I wound up doing, was looking at that, and I went and talked to some surfer guys down at the marina and stuff, and basically pitched them this crazy idea that I had, and I said, what if I made a mold and casted some grips and colored them? And instead of getting what usually you would get when I concoct some of these ideas of mine, they say, BATJAC, you're crazy. That's never going to work. No, I got it's very possible. So anyway, long story short, led to a happy ending because I wound up making my own, and that's kind of how it started. I just started making my own, and of course I found that was now that's kind of really really condensed version of the story, because it took a while, a lot of mistakes, a lot of just wasted money, throwing money down the tubes, it not coming out right. So yeah, I did shelve the idea many times, and picking it up here and there, and doing all that. So it wound up I wound up finding a company online called Buffalo Brothers. I found them on a Google search images on accident. Good company, they make good products, their grips are excellent, but as I was doing all this, I started noticing that they're quite pricey. A lot of this stuff is going to run you, 75, 80 bucks, 100 bucks, sometimes more, unfortunately. And yeah, in a way I get it, but the amount of just time and energy that goes into it, but I just never understood that. So off and on between making them and buying them and doing all that kind of stuff. Which led to me back to this story of buying this. I thought, well, I know there's some grips online that you can purchase that are just plain white style ivory that you can get. And I thought, well, can it be aged with just simple stuff you buy from the market, or anything that you can go down to the store and purchase and go home and apply it, and it'll do it. Sure enough, yes, after doing some research, a lot of failures, like, fabric dye, food coloring, breaking open Sharpie markers and spilling the ink out on stuff. That doesn't really work out too good, especially if you got like the Hogue brand. Their grips are absolutely almost impossible to stain. I've tried everything on them, and they just really wouldn't do it. I've even went the old school route, which has been known that's what John Wayne had did, which was throwing some tea on them or something. That didn't work at all. But so, in other words, the cheaper the grips, the better. The cheaper material, all that, the better. The better it'll take to the staining. Oh, we got somebody in here. Pipe Lawyer. What's up, BATJAC? What's up, Pipe Lawyer? Good to see somebody in here and coming up on the chat feed. So, but anyway, so the cheaper these things are, the better, because they'll take to the staining. So what I found is on Brownells. In Brownells, you can get this. And here it is. And these are the ones that I bought from Brownells. Even though I do my own, I actually didn't bring my rooster shooter here. This is the Frontier model. Luxurious one, I call it, because it's got all the, it's just a nicer finish and everything with their, I guess, their acid wash color case hardening that they do, that I've been informed that actually wears. That's okay. But this is the grips that you can buy right there on Brownells. They're made by like NC Ordnance or something. But I took them and I actually used the leather dye on them. I used a light brown, and I, watered it down with isopropyl alcohol that you can just get from Walmart. And I just went ahead and applied it and just kept applying it. Now on camera, it has a look that's kind of interesting, because you're like, oh, you know, that looks pretty good. And in person, it looks all right. Up close, it looks okay. It's got some character to it. It'll wear here and there. And we got Thomas Pickering, Canada here, listening instantly. I've got some rosewood. Oops, sorry. I didn't get to read it enough time. I've only done this twice, this live feed thing, so bear with me, guys. Try to read all your comments right here, and I like to interact with everybody. It's kind of why I do the radio shows on the weekend on Saturday. It kind of gets a little bit more personal thing. I can read all of your comments and everything. But so that's my outcome right there, with just the simple staining of leather dye that I bought from the feed store for $2. And there you go. And some cheap grips that you can get from Brownells. These are about $30. I'm just looking at that, and it looks like a little bit of some kind of, I don't know, looks like it almost cracked in the middle there. But these are just some cheapy ones that I got from Brownells. So like I said, they're about $30. And oh, here, Fire 1777. Ever try making holsters? No, but Santee does over there at the Arizona Ghost Riders, and so does Dirty Dan. I've actually been scratching at them saying, hey, teach me how to make some holsters, because I would like to do that. It's something that I really would enjoy doing, and so I got to get with those guys and have them show me how to do so. Santee. Santee's probably in bed already. Actually, tomorrow, which will be Saturday, I'm appearing in one of their videos that they've got coming out for every Saturday, so check it out at the Arizona Ghost Riders channel. I've been appearing in a lot of their stuff lately, so we actually just went off and did some filming together, so I could appear in some of their stuff, because it's been kind of cool. I mean, I like doing it. So, Wild West stuff. But anyway, there you go. I mean, $30 for these off of Brownells and a little bit of leather dye, and you can accomplish something just like that instead of going to one of these other websites. And I believe some of these websites, you'll wind up spending, like I said, about $80, something like that. And I'm trying to do something on the budget level and something more affordable for, say, and share it with everybody else. So I got a video on doing this. I did video doing this, so it'll be posted up at some point. I'll get it going. I kind of look at the videos on the feed and see what we got going on. I don't want to I try not to post so many it's like 1911 video, 1911 video. Somebody goes, I'm sick of seeing 1911s, right? But I try to change it up, so keep things, rolling, and keep the ideas coming in. And sometimes I get ideas from you folks. You'll give me a comment and say, hey, try this or try that in a video. And, hey, sometimes, hey, yeah, we'll try it. It works out. So, like I said, I was saying in the beginning here, oh, here we go. You like M9 Berettas? I do. I have one. I like it because when I was younger, I watched Lethal Weapon and Die Hard a lot. So, I mean, I picture Martin Riggs rolling in the ground, firing his Beretta, and as a kid, going with my parents to see Die Hard 3 in the theater, really got me fascinated with the leather shoulder holster and a Beretta, especially when he's in the car sequence and he's like, he's telling him, go around him, and he's changing his magazine. That was really cool. There was something about that was just like, wow, that's pretty neat. I like that. I really so, yes, the Beretta is really cool. I like it. I had the interest to buy it, and of course, it's interesting to me to see, as a 1911 fan, on I guess the real world kind of thing, to see what the military picked up and why and all that. Die Hard 3, love the water jug scene. Yeah, that's a funny scene. I love it because there's a cut sequence if you're watching that, and he's just like, I thought you said you knew, and he throws them. I mean, just like they're just completely discombobulated right there in the park. And if you can think about a bystander kind of witnessing this, you're like, here's a guy in a really dirty shirt with a shoulder holster, a gun on, and they're flipping out about a water jug with his computer device. Interesting. It's funny stuff, but that's the thing is growing up for me. VHS tapes and going to the video rental store and doing all that is, yeah, that was something else. I got into Beretta, M9 Berettas because of Jason Bourne. Yeah, you know, oddly enough, I didn't watch Jason Bourne too much. That I don't care for Glocks. That and I don't care for Glocks. Glocks is that thing where it's like a love or hate them. You know, some people love them, some people hate them. I think the thing is that there's a lot of people that are fanboys of them. They're just, you know, they just hold them up on that pedestal, and they just say, oh, this is it, you know, it's this or nothing, and I think that's where, don't hate them, just don't care for them. Yeah, that's true. You know, I've been working gun counters for forever, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like I've noticed that where it's just, you know, they just want them or they don't want them. Every law enforcement has a Glock. That's very true. Everybody's been switching over to them. You know, I've been watching the TV show Yellowstone. I just recently bought it on tape there because it came out. I was wanting to see it, but I didn't. Yeah, I don't have the cable and everything, and didn't want to. I don't like waiting for episodes to come out. I don't know, something weird like that. But I bought it when it came out, and I started watching it. And there's actually an interesting scene in there. Sorry if I'm going to ruin it for anybody, but it's just a scene where the guy has used a Glock 19 for something, and the rangers or the cops are like, hey, you know, take care of this, make it go away, disappear, blah blah blah. So he walks up to him and he says, I heard you seals like your 19s, your G19s. He says, yeah. So he yeah, the 29, absolutely. But he takes the slide off his Glock 19 and switches it for that guy's Glock 19 and, you know, puts it on there. I mean, yes, that could work. I mean, obviously, it definitely is possible. But, you know, typical movie, they don't realize that, well, the Glock barrel and slide is also marked with the serial number. So that's going to be a little weird. But I thought it was an interesting scene in some of these movies that they try to get it right, and I always wonder, like, who the heck was actually in charge of the armory in that? Like, you know, I tried to get into The Walking Dead, and I can't remember if it was like the first or second episode or something like that, and they're like in a police like line or something. They're trying to like create like a barrier, and they all got their guns out, and the guy's got a Glock. And he says something, I don't know, talking. He goes, yeah, I got to take the safety off, and he goes to the side of this guy's pistol and the Glock, and I'm like, what? Wait a minute. And they actually make the sound effect, click. And I'm like, well, where the heck? How did that happen? People still use the M9 Beretta in our military armed forces, and they say it's more reliable than the Glock. I did a little bit of testing with my Beretta, and I was really impressed. You know, I did some. I think we covered it in motor oil and shot it, and I think I also put it in. I don't know where I read it, but somewhere. Oh, it was in one of those gun books that I read. It was Flour and Sugar, and that was a test. That was a legit test that I think Patrick Sweeney was doing or something. So I did that test, a little makeshift version of myself, and I did that. Beretta functioned fine. I liked it. I still like it. It's a gun I kept and will hang on to. Really like it. So anyway, tomorrow actually, hopefully intend to go up and film. That's the plan, to film some actual shooting videos for you guys on the channel. That's what I'm trying to do and get that squared away. Always, every time I have that plan to do it, you know, it doesn't always go as planned sometimes. Depends on how windy it is. I don't like, even Taurus made a clone of Beretta. Yeah, I heard really good things about the Taurus, and one thing that I know a lot of people like is they took the safety off of the slide and actually put it on the frame. I know that's one of the major differences that they did for it. So when you're racking the slide, you don't accidentally render the thing unsafe. Oh, Joe P. I was wondering if Joe P was going to make it into this. I know it was kind of a last minute thing here, Joe. I decided to just kind of do this because I don't know if I'm going to have time to do a Saturday morning bit. We'll see. I may or may not. But I will be appearing, Joe, I will be appearing in Santee's video tomorrow. So you'll see, I'm not sure which clip he'll be using. So, but anyway, like I said, I was planning on doing some shooting videos outdoors tomorrow for the channel. We'll see how that shakes out. Because sometimes it doesn't work out too well because if there's too much wind, because it's outdoors, I don't want you guys listening to a bunch of just, you know, it's just like, oh, this is a terrible video. It says, awesome, good to see you. Yes, Joe, it's good to hear from you right there. So, anyway, what am I shooting tomorrow? Oh, I wouldn't, everybody would like to know. Well, it has something to do, and I'll show it to you. I'm not going to drag it on for you guys, but it has something to do with something like that, huh? Isn't that cool? So this Christmas, I had decided to treat myself. I decided, you know what, I think I should buy myself some stuff, and of course, living out here in a state that is pretty darn free with firearms, I'm betting a pump-action shotgun. You're pretty darn close, actually. You're spot on. So I decided to treat myself. I got it right here on the desk here. I'll show it to you in a sec. Decided to treat myself. Of course, living out here in a state where you can pretty much get your hands on just about anything. Lately, you know, this thing came out, and of course, Mr. Holster has been doing some stuff, and so I went and picked up this beauty right here called the Remington TAC 14. Hopefully you guys can see it, the whole bit here. Empty here, and I chose obviously I chose the wood, the hardwood stocked version. Believe it or not, I've never really owned an 8, and I thought that it was just cool because it's iconic, it's classic. Why not have the 870? And I know the old question, which one's better? Tony or Tron Magnum says, sweet. Yes, it is. It's really cool. It's really small. I don't know. It's about 26 inches over length. 14-inch barrel. Don't know how really exactly they got away with doing this, but they did, because I can just walk into a store, as I did, and pretty much just picked it up with just filling out the forms and everything, and basic 4473, and walk right out with it. Now, for a long time growing up, there was no way you could own one of these things unless you went through all the proper paperwork, NFA and all that stuff. So I'm curious to see how it shakes out, and, well, I guess how it really is going to recoil. But, you know, they've come down in price because right now I know everybody wants the semi-auto versions of this stuff. But again, you know, just the old question, Remington versus Mossberg, because Mossberg has got their very own of this, the Shockwave. Says, good thing you aren't in California. Yeah, I don't, I think, in fact, I looked them up when I was originally researching them, and they said a lot of these can't be shipped over there. But a friend of mine back home, of course, he's just going to, if he ever saw that I bought an 870, because he doesn't really care for them. But I liked it. I really did. Yeah, the wood, look at that wood, huh, Joe? Look at that. That wood is really what did it for me. When they first came out. Hey, look, Rooster Cogburn. Hey, mister, can I ask you an honest question? Okay, what is your honest question? But, you know, when I saw the Warsaw Patriot, it won't matter anyone if you're in California or New York, red flags, I couldn't read it all. But the wood pump is better. Yeah. The wood really attracted me to these things. When they first came out with the plastic grips, and I'm not knocking them, it's just not for me. It's not my cup of tea. I'm just more of a this style kind of a guy. But when I saw these came out, I said, yeah, that's cool. Because the movie Black Rain, Michael Douglas, Andy Garcia, in the end of the movie, he gets something like this. Actually, what he gets is a Stevens Model 67 that is a cut down, exactly like this, with the little kind of, I heard it's called like a duck's head grip, but, you know, basically something like that, and similar style of forend, but more on his, the forend is more like the classic Ithaca, what was that, Warsaw Patriot, typo, sorry, okay. Autocorrect. Yes, good old autocorrect has definitely screwed me over on many text messages to people. I'm still getting used to a lot of that stuff. Um, but yeah, this is really cool. I had to get one. Never owned an 870, so this is gonna be. Um, did you see Mr. Holster's Shockwave? I did. He painted his, and it's so funny is because like so many people are like, I can't believe you painted a 1911. Mr. Holster painted both his Shockwaves, and I know a lot of people just they do a little rattle can job on their stuff, and it works out fine. I like it. My recent one that I did, if you haven't seen the updated video of my inland, I spray painted it and actually put a clear coat on it, matte finish clear coat. It actually looked like Cerakoting. He says, my honest, down-to-earth question as it comes, question is, Mr., do you think, oh, I can't see, I don't know how to get these things coming up here. Where do I go here? Okay. Do you think Asians will align with, what? I can't read I don't know why it won't, I'm not sure how to work it. I knew there was a way to do it oh, here it is. Do you think Asians will align with whites when whites become a minority in America, or will Asians align with browns? Be honest, their heart. You know, I have met my share of, for say, people of, I guess that would say they wouldn't take too fondly of people that are non-white, and they, I guess they, yeah, we're all Americans, right? We're all in line with patriots regardless of color. I don't know. I mean, it's a hard question. There's a lot of being Japanese myself, there's a lot of, I know, turbulent type things happening in Japan in regards of racial discrimination and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. To me, I've always felt like, I get to know somebody regardless of what color they are or whatever. If they're a good person, they're a good person. If they're a scumbag, they're not worth knowing, I've met my fair share. I've currently, I kind of called somebody out recently, and, they're, white as can be, but, they're stealing Valor. They were pretending to be just a question, don't virtue signal, Mr. I don't know. But, it was a stolen Valor thing. What's up, my brother? Hope you are doing well. By Gun Enthusiast. Hey, Gun Enthusiast, my brother over there in Texas. But it was a big thing about, I kind of got onto him about stolen Valor. He was pretending to say he was in the military, and he was in like border patrol and law enforcement and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, stolen Valor, I've dealt with that on a guy on YouTube I used to know. Stolen Valor is not a joke. No, I definitely not. That's why I kind of got on this guy about it. I said, Brewster Cogburn, God bless you. God bless you too, brother. The stolen Valor thing really kind of ticks me off. It rubs me the wrong way because I think it's a slap in the face to those that actually put their lives on the line for it, be it a police officer or somebody in the military. Going through all that stuff is so are you on another question? Are we shooting slugs or buckshot to birdshot tomorrow? So I got a selection of both. We'll see how it goes. I got a partner that's willing to sacrifice his wrist first. So, but I think stolen Valor is a really a slap in the face to the American flag and everybody that served and put their life on the line. I really think it's rather pathetic that somebody would to make that up. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you. No. Everybody's fine. We're just rambling on here and just kind of chatting around and doing some stuff and kicking some words around. So yeah, tomorrow I'll show you what I got. Let me put this thing down. So tomorrow I got, of course, actually I got a variety of stuff. So I picked up some Remington light loads just to test it out first because you know. And actually, from videos I've seen, it's not too bad. So we'll see. uh, if you are committing stolen valor, you might as well be one of the biggest bigots living in the USA. That you're pissing on. Shame. Yeah, again, I never understood it. Why would you need to, falsify that? All right, and then like I said, I got the lighter loads here, and then I got just regular old field loads we're gonna try, and then picked up some high brass stuff. You never answer my question. Let me answer for you, Asians. Well, I can't read that. What is it? Let me answer. For you, Asians will align with whites. Asians already do. We'll keep it all at that. Yeah, that's kind of what have found out through my experiences, yeah, in life too. But here's the heavy loads that I'm going to try. And the buddy of mine that's going to accompany me with the trip tomorrow, he's got some heavier loads like some buckshot and some slugs and stuff. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually curious to see recoil-wise on the thing. And I've heard a lot of different stories. Some people are, and I think what is going to really happen with this thing is going to be like the old saying of the Dirty Harry gun, the 44 Magnum. Thanks for confirmation. You are the best. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that subscribed. Everybody's a fan of the channel and interested in just hanging out, chatting, and all that. I think back to it. I think it's like I think this Shockwave is going to be very much like the old thing about, dude, I've shot a Barrett 50 cal. Wow, that is one thing I've never shot yet. I haven't shot that. Nothing compares to that. I bet. No, I don't think so. But the old saying, I meet some people, they say, "Oh, you shoot a 44 Magnum." It's like boom, and I remember all that, hearing all that stuff, and oh, it's gonna hurt your hand when you shoot it and all that. So I remember when I bought a 44 Magnum, went down to the hardware store at the local town and actually bought 50 cal. Would be crazy. I remember going down to the hardware store, picking up a box of 44 Magnum and saying, "Let's try this thing," and going out there and bam, and I'm like, really, that was it? Like, it really wasn't all that much. And then, I went and shot it through my 3-inch barreled 629, double action and everything, and I actually made a video purposely kind of showing that because I didn't want to, I thought that was like so misleading in some cases where people were like, man, it would just like, they just overreact. They say, man, it'll break your wrist and all this stuff. The most gnarly thing I've ever seen was on weaponseducation.com. That's Tom over there in Florida. I saw him with his, he has like a emergency like bear gun, and it's the 50 cal, it's a 500 Magnum. Yeah, it's a 500 Magnum it's just a short barreled one. And I remember watching him shoot it. Is Dirty Dan going with you? No, but Dirty Dan ought to be. But actually, Dirty Dan's doing something this weekend. But I remember watching Tom from Weapons Education shoot this snubby 500 Magnum, and man, I mean, that is a wallop. That looked like that would pack a punch for sure. So I don't know. We'll see. So. But no, we got I'll see how, like I said, I really want to get some stuff filmed for you guys outdoors wise. I know that a lot of you miss those videos. I miss those videos. I miss those videos appearing on the channel. So I hope to get that going and everything. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Hopefully by next year, sometime very soon, I intend to purchase an actual, a better camera. Rather than doing a lot of this on my phone. So he says, Elmer Keith load 22 grains of 2400 will break your wrist, bro. Well, good old Elmer Keith. Hopefully, Rooster Cogburn, do you like Arizona? Do you carry regularly? I live in Modesto, California. Arizona is definitely a different thing for me. It's been definitely a lot of, it's very different. out here. It's coming from an island where it's pretty, compared to out here, it's pretty, you know, going from some things that are restricted, but not really restricted, to out here. But I've been enjoying it. Like I said, I mean, you know, buying something like this out here, um, that was like, you know, pretty. This is really my first indulgent, um, you know, in buying something like this. But yeah, for me, you know, I got to say, I got to experience things that I really wanted to do. You know, like having an automatic knife. I cannot have these in Hawaii. You will go to jail, let alone carry it. Out here, you can carry them, you can buy them, you can play with them. They don't, you know, I can open carry if I want to, right out into Walmart. Do I carry? Yeah, from time to time. You know, it depends what I do. Uh, that's why I ask, do you and most citizens carry? I think most people out here do. I think there's a lot of people that carry, especially where I work, it's required to carry. So that's what I do. I carry the Glock 34. I know some people aren't a fan of them, but I chose it because of the qualifications I got to go through on a monthly basis. It helps me with the qualifications. It's the same size as a 1911, which I love, and I was carrying my 1911 for a while there, but I noticed that, well, as anybody noticed, when you carry a gun, you start banging it and beating it up all the time, and that's what I didn't like. And what I was using was my Kimber, and um, yeah, I got a Kimber Warrior. That's my 1911, and like I said, it was like, you know, messing it up, you know, beating it up. D-Win, no shooting ranges in Detroit. Oh, that's too bad. Uh, you know what's weird is out here, coming to Arizona, Tucson. You would think there would be like, you know, I thought maybe my thought was there was gun ranges everywhere, indoor ranges. Well, um, actually, there's actually only like really very few ranges around. Well, within a driving radius. I mean, you can drive to spots. Now, me, I play it safe. I don't just drive out in the middle of the desert and just kind of go, well, I think this is a good spot. Let's try it. I don't do that because um, I just, you don't want to mess with that stuff. You get rolled up on from, you know, one of the law enforcement. They say, hey, by the way, you can't be doing that. Yeah, you don't want to get into that. And then you lose your, you know, get into all sorts of trouble. That's not, you know, not good. Like the place we're going tomorrow is actually, there's a big sign posted. It's a recreational shooting area and all that. So, and then of course, whenever I go, you know, I pick up my trash and a little bit more because I think that's just the right way to do it. In Hawaii, that's what we used to do when we used to roll on these pull-off spots and just shoot. Always take your trash and take a little bit more because unfortunately a lot of people just bring their trash there and scatter it all around and ruin it for everybody. So, yeah. Anyway, no shooting ranges in Chicago. Wow. Crazy how many places don't. I think even in New York there's a shooting range, or maybe not in the city. I don't know. But I would like to go there for food. So Coffee Land, yeah, there's shooting ranges on Coffee Land. Well, when it's your private land in Hawaii, that's definitely a big plus. Or when you have a friend that has many acreage of property, and he says, "Have at it, buddy." Yeah, we get to go out there, and that was always the best to shoot and film over there because, yes, I am from Hawaii. It's always the best to shoot on that property because we were the only ones. There was nobody else shooting. So we were able to set everything else up safely to get camera angles and set up tripods and do things safely without having to worry, like, what's that guy doing down there? Are there bullets coming this way? You know, all that. Totally private location, so we were able to do all that. So, but yeah, the shock or the not the Shockwave, the TAC-14 is my first real kind of buy out here that I could, you know, just say, hey, look, I can indulge in this. Seems pretty cool. Like, you know, but I can't really own that. I don't think you can own that in Hawaii. I don't think because I just don't think I don't think you'd be able to get it passed in there. So Um, yeah, it's cool because, like I said, like I was talking about the blades and everything out here, these automatic. Can you own rifles? I meant it's sad that there isn't like bolt action or semi-auto rifles. I maybe that was questioned amongst you guys, um, but I really like these things because I couldn't be able to own them in Hawaii. These push button stiletto type knives. These are all cheapy ones that I usually buy because we use them for stuff like this one we used in a lot of Santee's stuff. Oh, in Hawaii. Yeah, Hawaii. You can, you can go right in there with a permit and buy an AR-15 with a 30-round magazine right off the shelf. You should be able to just go right into the Sports Authority when it existed and just walk right in and get it, and fill out the form and walk right out. How is the paint job holding up on the 1911 by Ronald Martinez? It's holding up good. In fact, I don't, yeah, I don't have it here with me. It's tucked away. It's holding up good. I got the clear coat on it, so that a lot of people actually thought I Cerakoted it because that clear coat looks so good. So, which is, hey, thank you. You know, it's like some people, I show it to some people and they go, "You painted that?" Like, but these things are really cool. I like having them. This one here is one that we've used in the original Santee Goes to See the Cheapo Dentist bit, and the blade has been ground down particularly for the skits and stuff we were doing. We didn't want anybody to accidentally get cut. Of course, it still has a tip on it, so it could still poke you. But you should try Oxford bluing on guns. It's better than paint. I have done the bluing. I have tested it out. The paint. The reason I did the paint was to achieve a color that I wanted, and that was the look of the old 1911s from World War II, the old like looking greenish kind of looking guns that I wanted to achieve, and I did, and it was really good, and it works great. You just go to Walmart, and there it is. Like, you know, they sell it. It's that Rust-Oleum or something. BATJAC, thank you for the live stream tonight. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable on the first. No, not at all. It's just that, a lot of topics, I stay out of on the internet because of stuff. But, just some things, are what they call sensitive material or whatever. And I want to protect the channel more than anything, because you never know what could happen. And I still want to be here and chat with you guys and do all that, because, what we do here, and everybody that has a channel that is relating to things, it's a very sensitive thing we do. It's a very fragile thing that we do. So it can, yeah, that's just exactly, and that's how, like, Santee came across to me. When he came to me and said, "Hey, I want to start a YouTube channel, we got any advice for me?" I said, the best thing to do is keep it PG. Best thing to do is keep it, and I set out when I started doing this stuff, I said, I'd like to make sure that if my own mother were to watch my channel, she would be proud of it and not offended or ashamed or kind of disappointed in it, per se. I started my YouTube channel last year and love it. Oh, Warsaw Patriot, I'll have to check you out. But so before I leave, before I get off here, because I don't want the battery to die in between one of these things, and then it's kind of weird because all of a sudden it just like click, I'm gone. You're an awesome person. Your mother would be proud. Thank you very much. I met a couple of YouTube gun friends on here. Yeah, and I mean, same here. I mean, I met so many of you that are really cool people. I've been at gun shows, and somebody would come up and say, "Hey man, how's it going? I watch your channel. It's really cool." Yeah. At work, I met people that come in and they're like, "Hey, in fact, one guy that he's actually on the video. I asked him. I said, "Hey, you want to be in a video real quick?" We went out and shot a little video. More live would be more good. Keep it up, Thomas. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is, like I said, this is the second time I've done this. The first one was like some months ago, and I really wasn't sure if I was going to do this again. But, hey, it's pretty cool. We get to chat about some stuff. So, yeah, just it's really nice meeting a lot of you guys, and there's a lot of us that come together, and a lot of us that almost in a sense become really close without really actually ever meeting anybody. By the way, if you don't mind me asking, are you in your 20s? Those days are long gone for me. Make sure you like before you leave tonight, guys. Thank you, Rooster. I appreciate it. So, yes, please do give a thumbs up to the live stream and everything, because it helps us out, helps the channel grow and everything. So, um, but yeah, it's really interesting. It's really cool because we always meet everybody, and talk to everybody, and yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is I always, I'm very approachable. Everybody that's ever come up to me and recognized me, same thing with Santee and Dirty Dan and all those guys. They're really cool, because we do. I mean, there's times we walk through Walmart, somebody recognizes us. So it's really cool. It's cool to actually meet you guys, because I mean, everything we do is within the screen. It's kind of interesting, but yet, but all through my life, growing up, with movies and all that, always enjoyed filming stuff and ideas and all that. I've always enjoyed it, and you guys make it come true for me, because it's just like I get to film stuff and share my ideas with an audience, so it's really cool. Warsaw Patriot, I used to be anti-gun growing up, not anymore. Yeah, believe it or not, guns weren't really my first real love. It was music. After middle school, I changed my mind, my view. Yeah, I didn't. For me, it was always music. I played drums and always the band, and it was in a band, and music and music and music, and that's what really where it came through. And then the guns were just something I did with my father on occasion. But really, as I started growing older and realizing, hey, look, I can actually own some of the stuff that I saw in the movies and thought was really cool. That's cool, to own a Model 29 44 Magnum, that could really make your day. So. Don't let my speech judge before you actually know me. God bless y'all. More live streams. You do a great job. Yeah, never judge the book by its cover. That's the thing. It's just like, you never know. You could meet good night. Keep your batteries charged. Yeah, absolutely. We got to do that. So I'm gonna get off here because the battery's gonna die. And I know it's I'll be disappearing. But anyway, before I leave, one of the other cool things I purchased, because I just, you guys know, if you keeping up with me, I'm truly fascinated with the Thompson, and that's just what I really like. So obviously out here, if you wanted to buy a short barrel Thompson, all the paperwork involved and all that, did hell of a shift at work today. Yeah, I know how those days go. Today was definitely, I got out of there early. I snuck out on Friday. But I bought this, I know it's an airsoft gun. I know some people instantly go, oh my God, yeah. But this thing is really cool, actually. It runs off of, and I don't know much about them. All I know is this thing is really cool. Obviously out here in California, you can imagine. It runs off of this stuff. You got to buy this adapter kit, which I bought right here. Yes, gas blowback, that's what it's called. So I bought this adapter thing, and I'm all new to this because I really don't know much about it. But I can tell you this thing is propane gas. This thing is so cool. It's a short barrel, so it's 10, and it's got the proper markings on it, so you don't get in trouble, because you definitely, this thing looks so real. I would hate that I would have to have painted that if it wasn't, because I wouldn't want to get somebody the wrong impression here. But this thing does, it blows back and everything. This thing acts just like a real Thompson. It's so cool. But I saw this online and I just had to buy it because, and it had the stick magazine. I guess I'll show you what it looks like all put together here. Right there. Over time, the gas gets wear out, O-rings, and keep oiling with silicone. Yeah, so that's what I've everything I've been reading up on these things and everything. So this kit, when you buy this kit, they give you this oil, and they say you got to put the oil droplets inside on top of the valve on this thing before you screw the little adapter on there, and that helps oil things up. And I actually took some of this apart, and the main thing on this one, the gas goes in the magazine, which is really cool. So these are, you can always buy another one of these, $50 or whatever. Easier to clean than wax bullets. Yeah, the heck yeah. But it is so cool. I tell you, that thing is, to have gotten that, it basically satisfied my urge to want a Thompson. It really has. So it's just neat. I think e-bike should have CO2, man. I've been looking at their stuff. They were running a special, Black Friday special, so I really couldn't pass it up because it basically took a pretty large percentage off this thing, because I really was a little hesitant with the thing being like over $300, and like, it's gonna run after shipping, it was gonna be like $400. But when all the sales and everything was going, when it was like under $300, you're talking like $240, something like that, I said, you know what, really, I couldn't pass that up. Is that in Trump's bump stock pro? But what I found with these things is they do disappear from the market. Sometimes they're gone. Is that in Trump's bump stock pro gun ban? I don't know, but you know what? I mean, this thing is like, when I fired it full auto, I shot it into the trash can, and I was actually like, whoa, I can't believe this thing did that. But anyhow, you know what? It's cool. It's really neat to have that, and it's got all the markings and trademarks of all that stuff. So you like the Thompson, you like AKs. I'm totally that typical aesthetics. It's like I'm more in love with the AK and the AKM. It's like I've never really owned any of them. I've shot them. I've shot AKs. I've shot ARs. It's just never been my thing. I'm like, give me a lever action rifle. I think that's cool. That's just my thing. I don't know. But it's something like this. It's just really neat to be able to own. But anyway, well, we'll see how the day goes tomorrow and all that. So I'm going to let you guys go because I'm going to get out of here because I'm probably going to lose my battery soon. So thank you guys. Are my messages being censored? Is that why you're having trouble reading my chat, Kisker? No, I'm having trouble reading because I'm doing this on my phone. When they pop up, I only have so many seconds to read it before it disappears, and then I have to tap it and try to find it again. So that's the only reason I have kind of a hard time to see small stuff there. It's really tiny on this thing. I'm like, literally, this is my view screen here while I'm watching you guys. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and we'll do another live stream real shortly again because everybody seems to like it and enjoy it. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Give the video there a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time, and I'll let you know how the outdoor shooting videos went on another live stream. How about that? Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it, everybody.